Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Nick, otherwise known here as Avialence. So today's vlog topic is something I've been meaning to discuss for quite some time, and it is a little bit of a shorter vlog, but I feel it's important nonetheless. And that's kind of the idea that reviews are not always the right thing to look at, or they're not always right, so to speak. Now, in this connotation, I'm speaking about video games, of course, but I'm sure this kind of general idea can be applied to movies and music as well as kind of, I guess, any entertainment, so to speak. But the idea is that, the reviewers are not always right. Just because they believe something is terrible doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it, and that's something that I really think a lot of people focus in on. Now, the connotation here basically is the fact that while many of these professional outlets like Polygon, Game Informer, Rev3 Games, IGN, Kotaku, etc., 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 all these main outlets, including the one that I work for, Gamersalt Weekly, the one that I helped start up, we all do game reviews. Now, I've done game reviews. Game reviews are very difficult. They're anywhere between 800 and 3,200 words. Mine are typically about 1,800, maybe 2,200, something around that nature. But I've done a lot of AAA game reviews, and I gotta tell you guys, it's a stressful job. You have to review them on a deadline, you have to play through the game quickly in order to get an overall feel of the game for the review before that deadline. You're also gonna have to pull images, screenshots, tons of different things from the game that you're going to then put in your review that kind of showcase your opinion of the game. But that is what every review is. It's an opinion. And I know that a lot of you guys go ahead and do stuff like you watch my first impressions videos, for example, or my impressions videos here on YouTube, and a couple of you guys have told me that you make a decision to buy a game based on my impressions. Now, I am honored that you guys trust me that much. That is amazing, and I'm happy to do those videos. I'm about to do one on Thief, and it's quite fun to do them. But those are something completely different than a professional review, so to speak. Let me put it this way, right? It's kind of like writing some paper for your dissertation, which is professional, so to speak, and then writing a paper on relationships or women or men just because you had a bad relationship. More casual feeling, so to speak, more professionalism. I think they're two separate things, and that's why I really like to do my impressions videos here, whether they're my first or just my impressions, because it's more of a casual connotation where I can address what I liked about the game, what I didn't like about the game, and then give you guys an overall feel, so to speak, is the game enjoyable? Whereas professionally, I would tear that game apart, because that's how it works unless a game truly is that good. So I wanted to bring up three name examples here, and that is Thief, Rise, and BioShock Infinite Burial at Sea, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and go into Thief because I've played that for a couple hours at this point. I just picked it up last night, and I'm quite enjoying it. Thief has gotten pretty negative reviews, 3s out of 5s, 5s out of 10s, 6 out of 10s. A lot of people said that the stealth gameplay is there, but it's not really a fulfilling story. Now, I don't know if that's the truth because I've only played, like I said, about 2-3 hours. But while someone, a professional reviewer, so to speak, may feel that that game is really not worth your time, I would argue that it is, because Thief is exactly what I wanted. It's the game that influenced Morrowind's stealth system and bow system. It's a game that influenced the same thing in Oblivion and Skyrim, some of my favorite games that I've spent the most amount of time on. It's kind of like the grandfather, so to speak. And that is what Thief is. It's like playing Skyrim or Oblivion or Morrowind as a stealth archer. And for those of you who watch my videos, you know that's exactly what I do. So Thief's great, and I'm going to release a first impressions video, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. Now, if I was reviewing it professionally, of course, I'd probably give it the same score, but the point here is they're two different things, right? While as a professional review is something that looks at it from an analytical standpoint, a professional standpoint, so to speak, an impressions piece or something of that nature just describes how you feel about the game. And I think they're very, very different things. The same kind of showcase happened with Rise last year. It was an Xbox One launch title. And a lot of people said that it was just eye candy. It was a hack and slash, it was generic, and didn't really have a compelling story. Now again, same case scenario here, guys. Me, personally, I loved the game. I spent about 15 hours doing the campaign, and then I also did the campaign through a second time on the hardest difficulty. We also did a lot of Gladiator multiplayer. There's a couple videos here on this channel, but I did a lot of live streaming with Rise. But again, a lot of the review outlets gave it terrible scores, My dog's sitting back there whining because I guess he didn't like Rise. But back to what I was saying, so to speak, about Rise is a lot of the reviewers, right, they gave it pretty negative scores. Again, they said it was a generic hack and slash with a lack of a story. You know, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's basically the eye candy of the Xbox One launch, right? Now, again, professionally speaking, absolutely. But personally speaking, I love Rome. I love hack and slashes. I haven't had a great one for a while. I think the last big one I played was Dark Souls, right? And Rise Son of Rome fulfilled that for me. I enjoyed it. I had a great time with the game. While professionally speaking in a review, it wasn't the best of the best, it's still something that I think is very enjoyable, and it's something that I think a lot of gamers would enjoy if they would give it a shot. For my third example, Burial at Sea is the same thing. I love Bioshock. Always loved Bioshock. Burial at Sea, Part 1.
You can call me Elizabeth.
Terrible reviews. Mixed reviews, mixed feelings, and a lot of people thought that it wasn't a complete episode, so to speak, for the time we waited. And again, I understand that, but I love the hell out of it. And honestly, these are 3 games that I did not review. I'm not reviewing for Gamer Assault, and I'm happy I'm not reviewing them for Gamer Assault. So I gotta sit back and look at them from the perspective of, do I enjoy the game? And that's something I encourage you guys to do as well. I understand that these review outlets are your trusted sources for information, but it's something that I feel, you know, only goes so far, and I feel that a lot of people should kind of look back at a game and maybe pick it up if it's highly anticipated, if you think you're going to love it, like Thief, for example. But I think this is something that a lot of people should kind of look back on, because if it's a highly anticipated title, or it's not a highly anticipated title, and maybe it's getting terrible reviews, or, you know, your friend didn't like it, so to speak, I understand where you guys are coming from, and you're like, well, this is like my buddy, I trust his game judgment. A lot of people use me for that, right? I would, in my case scenario, I'm not always right about a video game, and I totally understand that. And that's why I enjoy doing my first impressions and my impressions pieces here on this YouTube channel instead of doing video game reviews, because it's a different context. It's more fun, it's more casual, and I feel I can express, did I enjoy the game? Which I think that's something that a lot of people aren't really considering these days. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts for today. Just talking about the game review scene. How do you guys feel about game reviews? I mean, what sources do you go to? And do you always trust those sources? Like, do reviews often make you buy a game? Or do they make you, you know, cancel your pre-order? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys and maybe do a secondary vlog on this stuff. Or, you know, of course, chat with you in the comments. I have a long day today, so I'm really looking forward to hanging out with you guys and listening to some of the comments. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it as always. Be sure to share this video if you enjoyed it. Give it a like, of course, if you had a good time. And, you know, if you haven't already, I highly encourage you to subscribe to this channel via the A that's in the upper box of here, or the subscribe button below, you guys. I do tons of game content on this channel, as well as vlogs every Tuesday, every Thursday. I got some pretty funny stuff coming up, so I'm really excited about that. We're going to be playing Egg Roulette, so if you guys have ever watched Jimmy Fallon, it's pretty much the same thing, and I'm really excited. That's it, though, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, my name is Avialence, and have a good one.